Good evening, students. So today I am going to continue the lesson tissues. So this tissues lesson I have already completed in the Vidyagama class. So once again we are going to recall what we have studied. Okay. Yes, in that class we already studied about the meristematic tissue, and permanent tissue. Permanent tissue. All of you keep textbook nearby you. So meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. So you recall what is the meaning of meristematic tissue. So this meristematic tissue is nothing but it's a growth tissue. So that you know already. So permanent tissue, so this classified into two types, simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So this permanent tissue is again classified into two, simple and complex permanent tissue. Simple and complex permanent tissue. So again the simple permanent tissue classified into three types. They are parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Yes, I hope you understand all. So simple permanent tissue classified into three types: parenchyma tissue, collenchyma tissue and sclerenchyma tissue. So till then we have already studied in our last class. Okay, so let us continue the lesson by complex permanent tissue. So complex permanent tissue. So dear students, so here complex permanent tissue is nothing but it's a lots of tissues, they together form a complex structure. So it is known as complex permanent tissue. Okay, so here complex permanent tissue is classified again into two types. They are xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem. So its structure is very complexity. So how it is very complex? So because of its structure. So what are the arrangement of the structure of this xylem tissue? It is nothing but, so xylem is also known as the water conducting tissue. Water conducting tissue. So here this xylem tissue, okay. So water conducting tissue is nothing but this xylem tissue helps in the conduction of water in the plant. Okay, so you already know children's. So water is absorbed by the root and then it transported into other part of the plant. So how it transport? So which is the tissue is responsible for that is nothing but xylem tissue. Okay, so this xylem tissue helps in the conduction of water from root to other part of the plants. Okay, so how it helps? Okay, so namely it is known as the xylem tissue. So you know that the meaning of tissue. So what are the cells are there in this xylem tissue? Because so many cells together form a tissue, that you know. So what are the cells are there in the xylem tissue? Okay, so there, that is the four types of cells are there in xylem tissue. They are Xylem Fiber, Xylem Parenchyma, mainly tracheids. Okay, Xylem Fiber, Xylem Parenchyma and tracheids. Okay, so these are the cells which is present in the xylem. So these three type of cells together form a tissue. Okay, So these each and every cells, they are helps in the transportation of water from one place to another place. So here this is the structure of xylem. Okay, if you see the plant like this, okay, in this plant, so within this stem it has xylem tissue. Okay, so we don't know, so because tissue we cannot see with our naked eye, but under the microscope we can see. Okay, so the cells are like this. Okay, this is long tubular structure. Xylem tissue is a long tubular structure. So this is the Xylem Parenchyma. So you already know about the Xylem Parenchyma. So this parenchymal cell helps in the conduction of or transportation of water from one tissue to another tissue. Okay, so here otherwise, so of course it is a water conducting tissue. Otherwise it also helps in the mechanical strength in the plant. ಅಂದರೆ ಸಸ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತನ್ನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ, ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತನ್ನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸು ಅಥವಾ ಸಸ್ಯಗಳು ಹೇಗೆ ಅದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದೇ ಕಾರಣ, ಇದು xylem tissue. Okay, and also the phloem. So here the next one is the phloem. It is known as food conducting tissue. Food conducting tissue. So xylem is a water conducting tissue and phloem is a food conducting tissue. So as the name says that, so this phloem always helps in the conduction of food from one place to another place within the body of the plant. Okay, so let us see how it conducts food from leaf to other part of the plant body. So it has, as the name says that, phloem tissue. It has many cells. Okay, like xylem, phloem also many cells. Let us see what are the cells it has. So phloem parenchyma, companion cells, sieve tube, okay, phloem parenchyma, companion cell, sieve tube and the phloem fiber. Phloem fiber, yes. How many cells are there now? 4 cells. Phloem parenchyma, companion cell, sieve tube and the phloem fiber. Okay, so all these 4 kind of cells together form a tissue known as phloem tissue. Okay, so here all the tissues are not same. They are all performing same function. Okay, so it functions as the conduction of food. So let us draw the diagram of phloem tissue. It is like this. These are the phloem parenchyma, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and these are the sieve tubes. So these are known as what? Sieve tube. And this is what? Companion cell. Okay, as the name says that, companion is nothing but, so each and both the cell, they are together form. Okay, they together form and forming one cell. So it is known as companion cell. So both the cells join together form companion cell. Okay, so the next one is the sieve tube. So what is meant by this? Sieve tube is nothing but, which is help for the filtration of food. Okay, as this tissue, what is the function of this tissue? It is the conduction of food. So here through the phloem parenchyma, food is absorbed and then it transferred into the companion cell, and then companion cell to the sieve tube. So what is the function of sieve tube here? So nothing but for the filtration of food. Okay, if any microbes or if any unwanted particles are there, so they are all filtered in the sieve tube and then is transported into other tissue. Okay, so that is the main function of sieve tube. And the next one is the Phloem Parenchyma. As usual, the storage of food and conduction of food also. Okay, so Phloem Fiber is also there, that gives tensile strength to the plant. Okay, Phloem Fiber gives tensile strength to the cells, that is the plant. So here is a plant is there, no. Okay, so there are many stems are there. So here this main stem is there, no. Okay, it is little bit hard. Okay, so when you feel touch here, you feel little bit hard. Why? Because the hardness of the stem is because of xylem and phloem. Okay, so because it gives mechanical strength to the plant. Mechanical strength ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಫ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡೋದು ಈ xylem ಮತ್ತೆ phloem. Okay, so apart from this main function, it also gives tensile strength to the plant. Okay, so this is about the complex permanent tissue, that is the xylem and the phloem. Okay, so here mainly you note down the point is, so xylem is a water conducting tissue and phloem is a food conducting tissue. Okay, so next we move on to the next type of tissue, that is the next type of tissue is epidermal tissue. Epidermal tissue. Okay, so here as the name says that epi is nothing but the meaning of epi is outer layer. Okay, derm is nothing but layer. Okay, derm andre layer, epi andre outer, andre epidermal tissue andre the outer layer, the tissue which is made up of outer layer. Okay, so if you see any plant, okay, if you see any plant, we can see the tissue like this. Okay, if you cut the plant like this, so ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ನಾರ್ ತರ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ತರ ನಾರ್ ತರ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ epidermal tissue. This organ, this is also a kind of organ. Okay, so this organ is made up of tissue. What kind of tissue it is? Epidermal tissue. Okay, so this tissue is made up of a tiny pores and a tiny simple cells. So these cells are nothing but guard cells. Guard cells. Okay, so if you see this out epidermal tissue under the microscope, okay, under the microscope, so we can see the outer layer like this. We cannot identify the cells here, just ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. How? So if you want to identify, so it is possible only under the microscope. Okay, so the same tissue is kept under the microscope. We can see the cells like this. How? Is it will be like this. So in between the cell we can see the structure like this. This structure is known as stomata. What it is called as? Stomata. Okay, so do you know about this? Stomata is nothing but it's a tiny pore, okay, which is present in the plant for the sake of respiration and as well as transpiration. Okay, this stomata helps in respiration in plant and also for transpiration. Okay, it performs two functions, and otherwise it also helps in the protection of the plant. Okay, the whole plant is protected by a layer called as epidermal layer or that epidermal tissue. Okay, so this tissue containing the number of stomatas. Okay, so many stomatas are there. Okay, uncountable stomatas are there. So these are the tiny spores. So that helps in respiration and the transpiration. Okay, so these stomata are also present in the soft body of the cells. Okay, if you take the leaf or if you take any stem or a root, okay, if any kind of plant body, it has stomata. Okay, so this stomata very helpful in the respiration and the transpiration. Okay, ಎರಡಕ್ಕೂ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Okay, what is transpiration now? Transpiration and respiration ಅಂದರೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಉಸಿರಾಡೋದು. So transpiration ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? It is nothing but the removal of excess of water from the plant body. Okay, so this stomata that plays a very important role in aquatic plants. Okay, aquatic plants ಅಂದರೆ ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಯುವಂತಹ plants. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಇದು? ಎಸ್, it helps in avoiding excess of absorption of water from the lake. Okay, so that plays a very important role in the aquatic plant. That is very helpful. So if you see the leaf of the lotus, any aquatic plant, so leaf of any aquatic plant, it is very hard. Why? Because of stomata. Okay, so these stomata do not allow any excess of water entering into the plant. Okay, ಅತಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ನೀರನ್ನು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನು ಇದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇದರಿಂದ ಸಸ್ಯಗಳು ನೀರಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟು ಕೊಳೆಯೋದನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ತಪ್ಪಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅನದರ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ plant tissue. Okay, epidermal tissue. So till that we studied about plant tissue. Okay, so once again recall. So what are the aspects are there in the plant tissue? Is plant tissue classified into two types, it is permanent tissue and meristematic tissue. Again, permanent tissue classified into two types, that is simple permanent and complex permanent tissue. So in addition to that, one more tissue is there, so that is epidermal tissue. Okay, yes. Thank you, children.